pray with me. God, we thank you that first and foremost, God, we get to be a part of this community because of what your son Jesus Christ did on the cross. God, these next few moments, I ask that your Spirit would just speak, that you would soften our hearts and ready our ears for what it is that you will say, God. God, we thank you for what it is that you are going to accomplish today in the lives of so many. God, we pray all this in the name of your son, Jesus. Amen. The first thing, if you're taking notes, the first thing that community does is community helps you grow. Community helps you grow. Now, there are many different ways that community helps you grow. It helps you grow when you're on a serving team and you come together every week at church and you serve, whether it's from parking cars to changing dirty diapers in the back. Community helps you grow when you go on a missions trip and you come together at the end of the day on your missions trip and you sit around a table and you talk about what God showed you in your life. Community helps you grow when you're a part of a connect group and you go and you study a curriculum from Beth Moore or one of the other curriculums that we have and you grow closer together. Community helps you grow when you do personal Devo and you come together as friends and you sit around a table and you reveal what God has shown to each of you through your time of devotion with Him. But how community helps you grow also boils down to one massive thing. And it's what Proverbs 27:17 says, is iron sharpens iron, so a friend sharpens a friend. You see, what happens in community when we come together as Christians is we are using what God has given each of us to sharpen each other, to make us better, to help us, to tell us some things, to show us some blind spots. And there have been many people in my life that God has used to sharpen me. There have been a ton of different people that God has brought into my life time and time again to sharpen me. There was my youth pastor as I grew up, God used to sharpen me. There were my youth leaders. And then as I came on staff here, there was Pastor Stovall and Pastor David and all these guys that would surround me and that they would sharpen me. They would help me to be more like Jesus and have more of an impact for His kingdom as I continually walk this earth. But there's one that sticks out massively to me, probably because it was the most recent. You see, Sub 30 is our college and young adult service here. And we went on a missions trip to Ireland to see Pastor Big John, and we went over to Belfast, and we did like a big college rally there on Belfast campus, which was absolutely unbelievable. We were there for about 7 or 8 days. And so we were getting ready to leave and fly back from Dublin to LaGuardia. And it just so happened that on this leg of the flight, I was sitting by my assistant, Jerica. Now, Jerica and I had led this trip together. And so as we were on the plane and we were getting ready to take off, I was getting ready to slip into a sweet, sweet medicated sleep on this plane because I'm a nervous flyer. You know what I'm saying? Like turbulence, I'm like, oh my Lord, like I'm grabbing on. True story, has nothing to do with my message right now. I was flying into Atlanta one time, and I was sitting next to this elderly lady, and she knew I was a pastor, and we flew into some turbulence, and I did like grabbed onto some stuff. I'm not lying to you. This is what she did. She leans over, she starts rubbing my arm. She goes, "He's got the whole world in his hands." I'm like, "Get off me, woman!" And but I just remember being like, "Yeah, I know, I don't want that right now," you know, as we were going into turbulence. So we're getting ready to take off from Dublin. And I put my headphones in, and my assistant, Jerica, she turns and she looks at me. She says, "Can I tell you something?" You know when someone says, "Can I tell you something?" and it's loaded? Like, it's like, "Can I tell you something?" Like, Jerica at this point is wheeling a 12 gauge at me of, "Can I tell you something?" I was like, "Yeah, you can tell me something." She says, "You don't understand the weight of your words." She says, "And sometimes the way that you joke and sometimes the things that you say make people insecure. And you'll never be able to lead anybody that you make insecure." Dang. That hurt. That was a whiskey. Like, that's what that did. Like, "Can I have a please drink, stewardess?" And I think she's ticking. I think she's got a bomb on her. You may want to check her. So after they got done frisking Jerica and we were getting ready to take off, I was sitting there, and I was hurt. But like, as a pastor, I'm just going to be honest. I mean, I try to think of myself as a fairly decent leader. I don't want to think of myself going around making people insecure just all the time. But see, what hurt me wasn't Jerica. Jerica honored me by telling me the truth. What hurt me was the truth, because that was the truth. So I went back and I kind of got the staff together that kind of report to me a little bit, and I said, hey, I got to ask you guys a question. Do I make people insecure? You know how people, when they tell you the truth, sometimes they don't want to look you in the eye? Well, I mean, sometimes. I mean, I don't know. I've never seen it. Clay said he saw it once. Tell him, Clay. And see, in that moment, what I realized is, man, I had a massive blind spot in my leadership. I had this massive issue that I would make jokes and I would crack wise comments, and I would expect it to roll off other people's back like it rolled off mine. But really what I was doing, I was making people insecure and I was hurting them. See, what Jerica did in that moment was she sharpened me. She made me a better husband. She made me a better pastor. She made me a better leader. She made me a better father and friend. But see, I had relationship. I was in that community. So because I was in that community, she was able to be honest with me. Now, when she was honest with me, there was some friction and there were some sparks, and it didn't feel good, but it made me better. See, there's a lot of us, and I say this all the time, there's a lot of us in here that we just surround ourselves with people who tell us what we want to hear instead of people who tell us what we need to hear. And you have, listen to me, and you have friends in your life, every one of you in here, that see more potential in you than you even see in yourself. And sometimes, when a friend has to call that out of us or sees that we're not living up to our God-given potential, which all of you have, there needs to be some sharpening involved. You need to have a friend in your life that can roll up on you and say, can I tell you something? And listen, it's not going to feel great. I wasn't like, come here, you, and like after she told me, do you know what I'm saying? I wasn't like, you're the best. I mean, I like went into like a, like staring at the seat in front of me, just being like, I hope this plane goes down. Like I felt horrible about myself, but it was the truth. And so because of that, I'm better now than I was a couple months ago. And all of our goals should be to be better down the road than we are right now, not for us, but so that we can have more of an impact in the kingdom for Jesus Christ. And so we need some people to be honest with us. And can I just say this too? Like, I think Facebook is ruining, like, us. Like, all of us. Like, right now, Mark Zuckerberg is like, where is he? He's the guy that owns Facebook. And so, because here's what it does, especially with like high school and middle school age people, and I'll get to the rest of you in a second. So we have a friend that comes up to us because we surround ourselves with people that tell us what we want to hear. So sometimes what I've seen time and time again is I've seen friends confront each other about something. And they'll be like, well, I don't need to take that from you. I got 3,500 other friends. No, you don't. You have some creeper that's acting like he's a 14-year-old boy when he's really 45 at home on the internet. And so we've surrounded ourselves with these fake friendships. And so what we think of friendship is now is that people just tell us what we want to hear about ourselves all the time and how great we are. Listen, that is a dangerous, dangerous, dangerous place to be. And we have got to know that a true friend is a friend that is willing to roll up on you and say, I need to tell you the truth about yourself, and you may not like it. Because that's going to help make you better. That's going to help make you stronger. That's going to help you be more like Jesus Christ. And let me just say this. For you adults and college students, please, for everything that is sweet and holy, quit placing your life story on Facebook. Because here's what it does. It's a cry for help. When you place out there, my trifling behind boyfriend broke up with me again, and I don't need him because I'm too good for a man anyway. And I tell you what I had done. Like, you are, here, listen, hold on, stay with me. It is a cry for help. You are putting that out there so someone will pay attention to you and respond to what you put. Why don't you get into a community with some believers who you can go to and say, listen, here's the deal. My boyfriend broke up with me and I need some help. And then what you have is you have people that come around you, sharpen you, and help you grow. I've never seen anything like it in my life. Some of you, your step, if you're a member of this church, is you need to walk out those 2 exit doors at the end of this service, and you need to walk up to a connect group, and you need to say, sign me up because I need some friends. Because I have some issues, and I need some people to walk with me and help me to work this out of my life. Quit putting it on Facebook. Listen, young ladies,